As a best-selling author and one of the most respected specialists in childhood neurological disorders in America, our next guest has been helping children overcome learning disabilities for over 20 years.
Dr. Robert Melillo is the founder of Brain Balance Achievement Centers, which offer a cutting-edge, drug-free approach to help kids improve their ability to learn academically, socially, and emotionally.
And he joins us to celebrate the grand opening of Brain Balance of Omaha. Welcome back, Doctor.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you to be back.
You are really changing lives for families, and especially those of young kids. But how did this brain balance journey begin for you?
Yeah, it really started as from a professional standpoint. You know, been a clinician for 30 years, and my focus has always been neurology and rehabilitation. But really, it started as a parent of, you know, with a son that was labeled with some sort of problem. They didn't know what it was. They thought it may have been ADHD or whatever. And, you know, again, we see maybe half of the people that come into our centers, they're not given a label. They don't know what is happening. They know their child is struggling, but they're at the same time told, well, you know, just accept it. There's nothing that can be done about it. And kind of hope is taken away from them right off the bat.
It's hard.
It's very
hard for families, which is why when people start hearing about these centers, they perk up. And Mike was talking about the word of mouth, parents sharing with other parents. Have you heard about Brain Balance? How many centers now do you have across the country?
We have over 100 open, and we have another 30 or 40 on the way. We're opening almost one a week. And what's really interesting is that half of the centers are being opened by parents that went through the program with their own children.
Sure.
And they know exactly how it works.
Changed their lives. And many of these people have changed careers, have moved to different states, have used their life savings to be able to do this. And that really speaks volumes, I think, you know.
Can you talk about the traditional method for treating kids that have problems, as you termed it, versus what happens in the Brain Balance program? How does that work?
You know, I think a lot of it has to do with our approach. First of all, we don't really look at these as healthcare problems per se. We look at them as learning challenges. And it just so happens that during development, there are certain imbalances that have developed in their brain where certain areas just haven't matured as well as they should, and other areas are really exceptional. Most of these kids are actually gifted. That's why they end up in this position. And that imbalance really prevents them from using their whole brain and from really integrating all of these networks together. So our job is just to kind of nudge it along and to identify what areas of the brain are immature. And that could be motor skill areas, sensory processing, academics, cognitive issues, you know, their emotional regulation, and be able to do whatever we can to support that so that that child is now able to learn at their optimal level. Some children have difficulty learning more socially, non-verbally, paying attention. Those are more right brain delays. Or some children have difficulty learning really more with their left brain. They have reading problems and math issues and basic academic issues, more traditional learning issues.
You're flushing out some of the, as I'm listening to you here, some of the kids who would benefit from this program.
Right.
Are there any other indicators for parents and grandparents who are watching now so they know that this would be an awesome fit?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things that we hear all the time and that confuses people and teachers is that many of these kids have what we call an unevenness of skills, meaning that they're pretty good or even exceptional at certain things. And it might even be like doing Legos or, you know, just remembering directions somewhere where they're, you know, really good at it. But then they have other areas where they're really struggling. That is a sign of a developmental imbalance in the brain, and that is the actual problem. The other thing is if there was any sort of delays in their motor milestone development, if they were delayed in crawling or walking, or if they were delayed in speaking, any of those things are usually a sign that there's some issue going on, and especially when, you know, everybody's looked and the child has had real good medical care and everybody looks at it and says, well, there's nothing really wrong, we don't really find a problem. That's when the child is usually going to really benefit from what we do.
What ages are we talking about here? And I guess when is the first sign of any issues that your kid may be having? Is it better to get him started right away, or what ages are we talking about?
Yeah, K through 12 is what we work with, and there are things and there are interventions that I discuss in my books that people with children, even with infants or with young children, that can start. But we have found that the most cost-effective way is to wait until the child is around 4.5, 5, when they can really interact with us, when they can do things, when they can start to read. And then we can usually, resolve these issues in a relatively short period of time. And that's what we're looking to do. We're not looking to just compensate. We're not looking to just be a Band-Aid. We're looking to really address these issues and correct them.
It's why people talk about it changing lives.
Yeah.
Any success stories you can share? I mean, countless, I know,
I
but
just
does
had,
anything stand out?
on the way here, because there's so many, there's thousands of them, tens of thousands. But on the way here, one of the person who is really owns this center that we're talking about here, she was telling me that one of her neighbors, the daughter had her leg amputated at a young age. It was a right leg, and she had severe dyslexia. She had learning issues, and they didn't know if she would ever be able to really do anything. And so from the right leg, it really affected the development of her left brain. So she went through, brain balance program and did some of those things. And now she's, completely performing at a normal level.
Wow.
She's able to drive. They never thought that she'd be able to drive. That she's able to read at an appropriate level. She's doing really well in school, and all these different things have changed. So that's just one I just heard today. Just here.
Every day you hear those stories.
And you give
Every day.
examples of those success stories all over the world, because you speak all over the world. You just got back from Rome not too long ago, you were telling us.
Well, he's speaking tonight, and I want to make sure we show you this information, because many of you, if you've been hearing about brain balance, or maybe this is the first time and you want to learn more, the event that's happening tonight for parents and educators at the University of Nebraska Medical Center at the Truhlsen Campus Event Center there, that begins at 6:30. You do need to RSVP for it, and you see the phone number there. But why Dr. Melillo is in town is to kick off the opening of the second Brain Balance Center in our area, and it is the Omaha Center on South 84th Street, and you see the number specific to that center. But if maybe you live closer to the Elkhorn Millard location, which was the reason he was here the last time around, then you'll want to give that number a call there.
Yeah, Doctor, good to see you. And thanks for the information. I know you're
Thank you.
Helping a lot of kids and families out right now.
Yes,
Thanks a
and
lot.
to me, there's no more important thing we can do. So I hope people come out, and if they have a question, that's what I'm really there for tonight. It's really answer the questions.
Great.
Great.
Thank you
Thanks,
for being
Doctor.
here.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you want